Welcome back to another video. In this video we are gonna make a registration form or a booking form, which I grabbed the idea from UI Design Daily. So you can go to UI Design and search for this, open up this and search for form, and this one. So I picked up this one and we are gonna make this one. We will try to make it exactly like this, and then we will validate this with our JavaScript. So let's start. As usual, we need, like, I made a folder and opened that in the VS Code. So I'm gonna need 3 files as usual. One is gonna be index file, one is gonna be style sheet, and one is gonna be our script file where where we will write all of our logic, right? So let's begin with our basic HTML template, and let me name this title as booking form, and let me include my CSS file over here and JavaScript file over here. And we will start from let me open this with my live server as well, and we'll start from like the colors are like over here, and we can like start from there. And we will, first of all, we have a header where we have a heading and a p tag, like this is a paragraph, and then we have actual form where we will have a label on the, and then we have an input, then we have a label, and then again we have this is an icon, and then we have a date input, and then we have another checkout date input, then label, and this is a drop down, this is a drop down, this is drop down, and then these are some radio buttons, and then we have finally the search buttons. When we click on this, we validate all of our fields, right? So let's start. So first of all, we will make a container which will wrap all of our application, and then in the header we will say that the heading is going to be h3, and I'm going to say that it's going to be work whatever is there. And then we have a p tag. I'm going to say so. That's it for our header. So we got our heading and p tag, and that's it. We will style this when we will move to our CSS, and then we have a like one this line that we can add by saying HR over here. So that will add in a line, like line, right? Okay, then we need the main container, the form container, in which we have a form. Okay, and this form would go to nowhere, so we will put in the hash, and then we will give it an ID form. So why we are giving it an ID is because we want to, like, when we go to our JavaScript, we will target this form with the its ID. All right, so next things next thing is like we have is a label and input field, right? So let's add that quickly. I'm gonna say label for, you can name it anything, so we can like be specific with so we can like be go with the semantic word, like which we are making label for. Like if we are making label for like destination, we can add in destination over here, so it would represent that is label for destination. And the other thing that 4 does over here, I'm gonna show when we'll move the input. Okay, property, so input type is equal to text, and name is equal to destination. So what happens is, like, when I give it a destination name over here, so this label knows that this label is for this input. You can see that over here. So when I click on this, it will go, oh wait, it should be ID, right? Destination, right? So you see label, when I click on this label anywhere, like over here, it automatically focuses over here. So it knows that this label is for ID of destination. Okay, so this is the main use of for. And then we can add in a class to this form control, and then placeholder, whatever, like a placeholder thing. Okay, enter the place where you want to go. So this field is over here. So we'll wrap this whole label and input into a separate div, and we will give that div a form group and another destination class. So let me put this inside of that. And then we can add in more divs. And now I'm gonna say over here check in out div, and inside of that I'm gonna add in form input, form group, and then we have a label check in, and inside of that we can say, so there are multiple ways of like making this HTML, right? So this could be one way. So you can like try on the other ways as well, like try on different types of divs and then styling it differently. So I found out this one working for me, so I'm sticking with this. And then I'm gonna say form group, and inside of that we have an input of date. Okay, so when you add in a type of date, so automatically a calendars add in, right? So when you click on this, you see automatically a calendar adds in, so pick a date from it. So it is a very nice input field that is already provided by HTML. Then we can go to the name and put in actually we don't need name, and then we can check in. So these classes have no use when till now in our HTML, but when we will move to the CSS, they will like take effect. And then like for this icon, we can like use a font awesome library. You can go over here to pick an icon from there. So what you can do is like go over this website, go to this website and start for free, click on start for free and enter your email, and they will send you a kit code that you can include. So I already added my email address, so I'm gonna like just copy the code that they sent me into my email, and then I can start using it. So that code would go over in your header above your style sheet over here. Okay, and so the font awesome library is included, and then we can pick any icon from here. So I would go for like calendar, search for the calendar icon, and I can pick in any calendar from here. So I'm gonna like stick to this one. Okay, because it looks closer to this one. And what I need to do is just click on this, copy this HTML and paste wherever I want to use it. So this would go before the input field, right? So I'm gonna include that over here, and then we can see that in our browser that icon is included. So yeah, and now we can like just copy paste this field for our checkout as well. And we just need to like change their, so this would be checkout. Right, so we have check-in and checkout, and then we need to do is like include these rooms, adults and children. So for that we need to add in one more div. Okay, so I'm gonna go over here after this like closing check-in out div and add in one more div. So I'm gonna name it rooms, adults, children, and I'm gonna give it a form group. The first is gonna be for label of for rooms, right? Rooms, and then there is a drop down. So for that I'm gonna say select form control and ID of rooms, and inside of that I'm gonna add in the options that I need. So the first option is gonna be option value is equal to 1 and let me just copy paste this. How many times I want is, so I'm gonna say 2 for this one, this one is gonna be 3, and this one is gonna be 4. So we can see that this drop down is added, and now we can like just copy paste this for our adults and children, right? And I'm gonna change this to children now, or adults first. Okay, so we have adults as well, and then we have finally the children. And I'm gonna like add in one more option, right? So that is gonna be like 0. The children can be 0 as well. So this is added as well. And finally we need 2 more things, is one is gonna be like traveling for and one is gonna be search for, and these have, then we're gonna add in one more form group, and inside of that we need our label first, and this is gonna be for traveling. And then we need another label for that is going to be for the radio, right? And I'm going to say this one to work, and give it a class radio label, and inside of that label I'm going to add in the input type radio. Wait, hold on, input radio, and this one is going to be name travel ID, sorry, work, and then id of work as well. And this label is gonna be work. And now I can copy paste this 2 more times. Actually 1 time, just we need layer. Change this to so how do I select multiple? This is like when I like select, like click on this, right? Then I press in Control D, so it selects this. When I press Control D again, it selects the second one. When I press Control D again, it selects the third one. Okay, so yeah, it looks like this. Layer. So why I'm adding input inside of the label is because this retrieve would know that this is for this label. Okay, so yeah, actually you know what, like we can like select both of them. So that's the issue. How can we solve this issue is by saying the name is my for travel, so they would know that we have to select one out of them. Okay, so now if I select this, right, so you have to like specify the same name, so they know like we can select one out of them. And now we can do is like just copy paste this one more time for our final section. Okay, and now over here copy paste this one more time, and you will see that now 3 are added, and now we can just change the values to search for. Okay, so I'm going to do that quickly over here. So yeah, that's it for like our HTML, and now we can like start styling it to make it look like this. All right, let's move to our CSS section. So let's jump right into CSS, and the font family that I'm gonna be using, I don't know which font family they are using, but I'm gonna be using Jost. So I'm gonna go to fonts.google.com and search for the Jost, this one, and I have to select regular one, and the bold one, and the light one. And then I can go to click on import, copy this, and go to your style sheet and paste over here. And let me get rid of that by pressing Ctrl D, and the font family is ready to use. And now I can do is just copy this font family. You will notice the font family will change in a second, and I will say body font family. All right, see the difference, the font family is changed. And if I show you over here, let me close this, right, there's a lot of difference. And now we can do is add in more styling. And first of all, I'm gonna remove the margin from all of the elements, that is by default, and then I'm gonna say box sizing to be border box, so everything would try to be adjusted in the box. All right, and then let me add in some more properties, and the background color, in this is like an image. I don't know which image is that, but I'm gonna be sticking with this color, right? So because this color I think it's closer to this image, right? So I'm gonna say background color this. Then I want everything, like everything to be in center. So for that I'm gonna say so align item justify contents would align it horizontally, and min height 100 viewable height would make it vertically aligned as well. And the font size that I'm going to be using is 16 pixels. Alright, and everything is now in center. Let's try to style this this container only, right? And I'm gonna say the dot container, and its background color should be this background color, right? So I'm gonna copy this, and you'll notice there is a border radius, this border radius, and you see the color is applied, and we want the border radius. And one more thing is its width. We want its width to be some pixels. Border radius to be 30 pixels, width to be 700 pixels. So it is now curved around the corners, and the width is 700 pixels, right? We will align them everything to the center in a sec. And let's move to the header, and the header background color is changed from the body color, right? So we're gonna say background color Alright, the background color is applied, and next thing we want is on the padding from all the sides. Padding from all the sides will be 20 pixels, and the border radius from top and bottom 20 pixels. From top right, from top left and top right, and from the bottom it would be 0 0. Okay. Alright, and now we have to like align these everything to center. So we will just say over here text line to the center. Alright, and now we need to like change their colors to these. So let me copy this blue color first, and I'm gonna target my this color, font color to be this, and the paragraph font color would be I think this color. Alright, so our header section is done. The last thing in the header section is this, right? So we need to copy this color and apply it to this line. So we're gonna say HR color to be this. All right, our header section is done, and now we have to work on the main content of the form. So let's go and let me put it a little above so you can really see it better. And now we will just target the form and apply the padding 20 pixels from all the sides, or we can like go with the 30 as well. Let's see. Yeah, 30. I think 30 is good. Then we can go to form group, form group margin from bottom to 20 pixels, so everything has now a little bit of spacing in between them, right? And now we can do is target all of the labels that are inside of the form group, right? And change their colors and some styling to them, right? So we're gonna say label font size 16 pixels, font weight all right, the color is applied and a little bit of font styling also. And yeah, obviously we will change these labels, we will override them and we'll move to these. And let's style on the input, because we don't want the input to be like this. Their input is much better, right? So we're gonna say input padding 10 pixels from all the sides, so it would add in a little bit of spacing. Then border radius 5 pixels, font size 16 pixels, color outline to be none, so to remove its outline, and then it will remove its border also, so it is much better. Now you can see, if I hover on it, like, you will see padding, this is padding, and then this is border radius, a little curve around it. Then font size, like whatever I like type in this font color, and then outline and this border, see this border. And to get this one after the other, like it should be on the top and then it should be on the below, right? So, and it would take in the whole space, so we will say, so we'll target the destination one. There are multiple ways, like you can only target the destination input and save it to be 100%, and it would, I think, work with that, but I'm gonna stick with this, display to be flex and flex direction to be column. So because we have a destination over here, right, we're targeting this, and this label and this input would become column wise instead of row, right? And now you can see it's much better now, but these are side by side, then we need to work on this also, so we can target these classes and style them. So let's change their colors to these colors, right? and because they are the I tags actually, right? These actual I tags, so we can directly say I, all of the font icons, and their color should be this, and I want the font size to be a little bigger, maybe 22. Let's see, I don't know, yeah, 22 is I think okay. And then we need to actually target on the first check-in out this whole div, and then we will say display to be flex. So this div and this div would become side by side, right? So we will say dot check wait, I think I didn't misspell that. Okay, all right, you see they are now side by side, and now we can apply a little more styling to like get a closer look to that. So we will say now to get in the spacing in between them, so we will say justify content to be space in between. So now there is a spacing, and now we'll try to get a little more style it a little more. So we will say it's input, checking out input, and style it a little. So we will increase its width to 250 pixels. So now it is much closer to this one, right? And now this section is also done, this section is done, and we can move to these sections. We can say now to be dot room adults children display to be flags, so that they can all be side by side. Okay, they didn't get side by side, maybe I misspelled again. Okay, this is rooms. Yeah, lot, but I don't want all of them to be side by side, right? So the problem is over here that this div should actually be over here, so it should know that this closing over here, and this is separate from that, right? So now they are side by side. You can see we can apply a little styling to these by saying, and now we can like apply his justify content to the space in between and width to be 60%. And now we can like there's a space and we applied it the width of 60% instead of 100%. And now we can like style this drop down as well. So we will say dot room adult children and select, and then we can say background color to be white, border to be none. So you can really play around with these values to get a closer look. Border radius to be 5 pixels, padding 10 pixels, margin left 5 pixels. You can see they are now much better, right? And we can like add in one more thing is like their color to be this one 77. Okay, 77. All right, They are looking much better. And now we have to move to our final section, traveling for search for, and we will done with our CSS. So we will say form group, and now we will say a radio label. Radio label. Yeah, radio label. Okay. So we are actually now styling these radio labels, right? So, one thing I want to show you right over here is like if I just say dot radio label and I would say this color to be #77, nothing would be applied, right? The color didn't change back to that color. It's because of overriding. So we have to like specify that we want to target all of our radio labels that are in the form group. See, because they are already applied some styling from above, right? So we wanna like to override that, we can say, go to style sheet and form group radio labels, so it will override that and they become now this. And now we can say a little bit of font styling to this, apply the little bit of font styling to this, font weight to be a normal, font size 16 pixels, margin right 10 pixels, right? And then the okay, I forgot to add in the button. So that button would go right over here, buttons, and then we have the submit. Button dot btn submit or search btn. This is a search button that we want to look like this, right? So we want to say to make the center, we will first target its on div and we will say text line to the center, so it will be aligned to the center of the screen. And now we have to actually target the actual button, search button, and then we can say background color to be orange, border none, outline none, border radius 30 pixels, padding from top and bottom 10 pixels, from left and right 40 pixels, and then color white, font size 16 pixels, and when I hover on it, the cursor changes to pointer, right? So this is our button, and now we can do one thing. The last thing we can do is like adding the error message already in the HTML that will show again in the JavaScript. By default it would be disabled. So let's say over here scan dot error message, okay. And this field, we can say anything inside of that. This field cannot be empty, okay. And we can add into over here to all of them. Actually, you can like add in only one span to this, right? Yeah. So see, we don't even need it for these because it's a drop down and it's already selected, right? So all right, and we can like style this so it can be look like error, right? And we can go to style sheet, dot error, span, color. All right, now it looks like an error, and by default it would be display to none. Okay, so if I like give it a display of none, it's gone. We will only show this when we there is actually the user does not enter this field or this field or this field, right? And one more thing is like before doing that, we wanna do is like add in the invalid class also. Like if there is like if it enters the leaves this field blank, this would be a border of like this color also. So we will say, so we will append like invalid class to destination. We will append the check-in invalid class. You know what, it's not gonna be shown. We will like show this without JavaScript, so it's not gonna be shown. Let me show you like what it will look like when uh, what, how it will look like when there would be the actual case. Right, let me add this field to over here. This is just for demo purposes, right? So you can see there is a border, and we will add this only when the user does not enter it and append to that. That makes sense. So we designed our error message, and let's make our error message for now go display none. We will only show when the user does not enter. So that is all done for our HTML CSS, and now we can move to our JavaScript. We added this span. Alright, this span should be over here. This span should be over here. Alright, and we want to show this error message when the user does not enter something, right? So for that, we're gonna attach an error class to every form group, like error class. So if form group has error class, we will show error message. Okay, so That would be something like or invalid. You can add an invalid. Actually, I would go with that. Just comment this out. Form group has error class. Then we're gonna show the error message. So we're gonna say display to be block. Okay, so like that. But this is hard coded. We wanna do this dynamically when we move to our JavaScript. Okay. Actually, this should also be there because we want to like do is like attach the border, right? So let's grab our the fields that we need in JavaScript. First, we need to grab form. We'll grab form document get element by id, and here will be on the form. Next, we need to grab destination input. Document get element by id and destination. Check-in date is equal to document get element by id. Check in. Same would go for checkout. And then we need to grab the radius. These radius, like if they are not ticked, we need to show error for that also. So let travel radius is equal to document.query selector all with the input which has a name. Name of what? Name of travel. Okay, so this is travel and this is search for. Okay, and now let me console log all of these to check if we grab them all correctly. Alright, so I will go over here, go to my console. Okay, we grabbed all of them perfectly. Form, input, input, input. Okay, input, okay, input, and then this input, right? And I need to like remove the hard-coded error from this because that was only for checking. And now we need to also grab one more thing, but before that let's do some like form validation. Like when we submit the form, we do what? We listen, and we wanna do is like we can like call another function or make that function over here as well. we're gonna validate form. Okay, so I'm gonna make that function over here, function validate form, which is gonna take in event parameters because it is a submit event. Okay, by default it won't submit. Okay, so event to event default means do not submit it to the server by default. So if I like try to click it now, you see I don't submit it and I don't get a random hash URL, right? That is because of this. And then I need to grab in my destination input value. Okay, so I would go with the destination input value is equal to destination input dot value, and then I'm gonna check if destination is equal to empty, like there's nothing entered. Then we're gonna do what we're gonna do is add error class to that form group, like this form group, right? So we need to like first grab the form group. I'm gonna do over here let form group. So if I like console this, I get all of my form groups. Right, and I need to add in error class to this and invalid class to add in the border, like this border to individual inputs. Two things, right? So first I'm gonna do is form group into 0, like the first, I mean the first one. Let me show you, because it is in the form of a collection, HTML collection. So at 0 it is destination, at 1 it is I don't know what is that, and at 2 it is checking, at 3 it is actually at 2 it is the whole form group, and then at 3rd we have like at 4th we have checkout, and then like that. So we can like check for their numbers and add appropriate number, because these are in the arrays, right? Appropriate number, and then we will add the class list dot add error. So let's see. So if you do not add in anything, try to click on submit, nothing happened actually. Let's see. Okay, so this should be destination input value. All right, and let me search again, click on search again. So this field cannot be empty, but I need to add in the border as well. So I need to do one more thing, is add the invalid class to that. So I'm gonna do is destination input dot class list dot add invalid, just that. So if I add it, you see now it is adding a border as well. So next thing I can do is I can check for check-in, check-in date and check-out. Actually, you know what? Like, I'm gonna use an additional library for these because I don't wanna like select the check-in date before the today, right? So I'm gonna do is add in an additional library jQuery. So you can like add in jQuery UI library, and you can like just Google that and grab from here or anywhere, and we're gonna use jQuery UI date picker, and its documentation would be over here. So we're gonna use this. So they have built-in methods like we can restrict our date range. We can like restrict the date to today like that. So we have like multiple options and we can like play around with that. Okay. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna grab the links from CDNJS. I'm not gonna download that. So I'm gonna like just grab the links from this website. So jQuery. So we will have to search for jQuery over here. UI. Copy this link. And go here at the bottom before the script that paste that also, and then we need to do is include jQuery as well. So now I'm gonna add in a function that is a jQuery function which you can like study about over here, and so I'm gonna use this function, right, and add in our modification to this. Okay, so I'm gonna paste that and we will verify this. So minimum date should be -20, not today, and it should be 0. 0 means from today. Okay, and maximum date should be, we can like, this means we can like minimum date should be 1 month and 10 days. So it's totally up to you, and then we can like add in date formats as well. So after including these two libraries, we need to do what is go to script file and change this date picker to whatever your ID is over here, right? So we need to change this to check in, and go to this and click on this. So you see now calendar pops up, but its styling is not there, so we need to add in the like their CSS as well. So we're gonna go again over here, jQuery UI, click on that and grab the CSS file as well. I'm gonna grab the UI main.css, this one, and include that over here. So now when I click on this, you see I can now select them from these options, right? Max date, checkout, this should be checkout, and max main date should be like 1, like it should be like always greater than main date, and maximum date should be I would like increase that to +1 year, and I can like add in the date format as well. Let me see if I like select this. All right, so you see this is in the form of forward slashes, and you can like change the date format as well, like so you just say date format, and so now it would be in this format, right? Let's see, so you can like really play around and going over here and see other methods. Okay, and we can like do others as well, like in So like if select this, so you see I cannot select in 8 because it should be always be greater than 9, always greater than 8. Okay, so we can like play around with it more, like if like we use refreshed or maybe just remote, and so like it is remote, and when I click on search, I need to like display the errors like you should select in check-in date and checkout dates. So I would go over here and say if check-in date, instead of like grabbing that into another variable, we can like directly do is like over here as well, check-in date dot value is equal to empty, or checkout date value is empty. We're gonna do the same thing, but this time the form group should be, you can like see from the HTML collection that what is the number of, okay, is check-in number is 2 and checkout number is 4. Okay, so we're going to use form group 2, paste that one more time, and form group 4, and this time it should be check-in, checkout. So it should work now also. Like click on search, see a nice popping up things, and when I select this and click on search, okay, so we need to like remove the errors also, like if else we're gonna say remove the class from that. Okay, do the same thing, class list dot remove, so we have a remove method as well. So it is not removing from this. Why it is not removing from this? Actually, you know what the issue is? We need to do them independently because we are checking for both. So that would be, me remove this. So I think it should work now. Search for this, and there is gone. If I like do this, yeah, so that was the issue. So we need to do them individually. I'm going to just copy paste this for checkout, changing the values, checkout, home group should be 4, should be checkout, should be checkout, home group should be 4, let's check it, search for this, and let's put in some value, and it's gone. Alright, and now we need to do is, if I do not like select any of them, I should pop in the error for them also. So what we're gonna do is if travel radius, like because travel radius has 2, right? 1 and 2 travel radius but array always start from 0, so 0 means the first one. First one is work. Travel work dot checked is false, and travel reduce into 1 dot checked, like means like both are false, both are not checked. So we're gonna say form group. So let me check which form group is that. So it's the 8th one and this is the 9th one. Okay, so we're gonna say form group of 8 dot class list dot add error. Alright, and if I like do this, and this field cannot be empty when I select this. Okay, I need to like when I select this, then I need to like remove this as well. Remove error. The error is gone. And the same thing I can do for the last one also. Just copy paste this and change the values. This cannot be empty. Let's select this. Select this, and it is gone. So we can like and the last thing is like if there are like no errors, we can like alert that form is submitted or something. So we are say if form group dot 0 dot class list contains error is equal to false, and so if they do not have any error, we can alert the user form submitted. This is some message you can put in anything. So let's check without that first. So if we click on that, this is error, like one thing is missing. Now do this, click on this, there is no alert. This should not be brackets, this should be single brackets. Okay, small parenthesis. Okay, let's do this again, and without that error, all the fields are filled, the form is submitted. I hope you learned something out of this video, and please be sure to subscribe this channel, and I will see you next time.